Yo, what is up? Sauce is back with another video. And this video, it's going to be a little bit more dark, right, bro? And the reason for why I say it's going to be a little bit more dark is because we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right, bro? And we're going to be talking about his fucking pedophile island. So there's a bunch of controversy surrounding Jeffrey Epstein at the moment, right? Because they haven't released the files. Now, as for why they haven't released the files, I have no fucking clue, alright, bro? I'm not even going to talk about that. But what we do know is that there was a fucking bunch of fucking pedophiles that went to that fucking Jeffrey Epstein island and did who knows what things to innocent children. So what I am going to talk about is how money was the primary reason for why these fucking pedophiles went to the island in the first place. Now, this has to do with more than just money. It has to do with power. It has to do with psychology. It has to do with your morals. And I know you guys are probably fucking confused, but let me explain. So at a certain level of wealth, you can literally buy anything you want. But there comes a point where you buy everything that you want and there's nothing else to buy. I mean, think about it. Let's say you have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, bruh. What the fuck are you gonna buy? You buy a few yachts, a few cars, a few watches, a few outfits, a few hookers. What the fuck else is there to buy? You've literally bought everything you've ever wanted and you still have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. After you surpass a certain amount of wealth, you reach a point where that wealth that you exceed, it really doesn't buy you anything in return. You just have extra money just laying there ready to spend, but you can't spend it because you've already bought everything you've ever wanted. And this is why when you see people online who get rich fast, they spend it on things they want. They buy cars, they buy mansions, they buy yachts, blah, blah, blah. But then once they buy everything they've ever wanted, they start spending it on degenerate shit, on fucking drugs or hookers or just stupid shit. So now mentally, you're just trying to chase a higher high. That's why you end up doing hardcore drugs. That's why you end up with hookers on the fucking beach. That's why you end up doing this and that. That's why you end up doing a bunch of degenerate shit. And after they get done doing all this degenerate shit, fucking on hookers, drugs up their ass, after they get done doing all this weird shit, then this is when it actually gets dark. And you know what? The human mind, it actually has this really cool feature where we like doing things that other people cannot do. I mean, that's why we want money in the first place, so we can do things other people can't do. So we can spend our money on things that other people can't spend their money on because they don't have enough money to do said thing. Now, when you tie all this together, you realize that you spent all your money on things you wanted, and then you spent your money on degenerate shit. And then after you're done with the degenerate shit, you want to do things that other people can't do. And typically, those things are illegal. And the reason for why you want to do the illegal shit is because you know damn well the regular citizen walking down the street working a 9 to 5, they're not doing anything illegal. Not because they don't want to, but it's because they can't. Because they don't have the funds to fight off the consequences. There's only two reasons for why regular citizens even follow the laws in the first place. One, they have morals, or two, they're so broke to the point to where they can't pay off the consequences that breaking the law gives them. So by extension, if they can't pay off those consequences, then they're forced to comply to the law. But now let's say you're rich and you have zero morals. Why the fuck would you give a fuck about the law? You can just pay it off. If you get a ticket, you can pay it off. If you go to court, you can pay it off. If you get imprisoned and you need a bail, you can just pay off the bail. You don't give a fuck. You're rich. Why the fuck would you care about the law? Of course you're going to want to break the law. One, because you have no morals. Two, because you can. And three, because you know that other people can't. So that's what makes it interesting. That's what gives you a mental higher high. So now you may be asking, how the fuck does this all tie into Jeffrey Epstein and his fucking island full of pedophiles? Well, like I just got done explaining, at a certain point of income, you don't give a fuck about doing illegal shit. Because you already have everything you ever wanted. You already did all the degenerate shit. So now, next up, you want to do a bunch of illegal shit. The reason for why these billionaires, celebrities, politicians, the reason for why they ended up on Jeffrey Epstein's island wasn't because they were forced. It's because they wanted to do something out of the norm. Something that would give them a higher mental high. And what better way for them to do this shit than to do something immoral, illegal, and completely fucking degenerate. And this is why they raped and did those hideous things to those innocent children on that island. Because it gave them a mental high. It gave them a reason to want to spend their money. And it gave them a sense of control and power. Once you have a shit ton of money and you're famous, the next best thing that you want is power. And the easiest way to get power is through children. Because if you control children, they can't defend themselves. Because they're innocent. They can't fight back. Now I know what you guys are saying, but Sans, not every rich person has gone to Jeffrey Epstein's island. Look at Elon Musk. He's the world's richest man, and yet he didn't go to it. Why? Great fucking observation, and let me explain why some rich people don't end up on that fucking pedophile island. There's only two reasons for why you don't end up doing some degenerate shit like raping children at Jeffrey Epstein's island. One of them is believing in a higher power, meaning God. And when you believe in God, you have morals, which keeps you accountable. And if you're accountable for yourself and for your actions, you're not gonna go around and go to Jeffrey Epstein's island and do a bunch of degenerate shit because you have morals. You believe in a higher power. You believe in consequences from a spiritual realm. So you're not going to do a bunch of weird shit. And the second reason is you have a higher purpose above money. For example, Elon Musk. Most people don't understand that Elon Musk, he doesn't give a fuck about the money. He has a higher purpose other than money. The money is just a byproduct of his success. That's all it is. It's not like he's chasing it. He's chasing something else. He's chasing greatness. He's chasing the ability to go to Mars. That's what he cares about. He cares about making us multiplanetary and propelling civilization with AI. And as for his morals, I don't really know. But what I can tell you is if you don't have a higher purpose like Elon Musk, the only thing that can keep you from going to a pedophile island once you get rich are your beliefs, your faith, and your religion. That's it. If you have a higher purpose above money and you have no morals, there may be a chance that you don't go to Jeffrey Epstein's island because you're chasing greatness. You're chasing something else, like Elon Musk. But if you don't have any morals or you don't have a higher purpose, trust me, you're going to end up on that fucking island like these fucking weirdo pedophiles. So the next time you're thinking about getting rich, truthfully think about it. Are you trying to get rich to propel society in a positive manner? Or are you trying to get rich to buy bullshit materialistic things? Do you have faith? Do you believe in a religion? Do you believe in a higher power? Or do you have no morals? Because trust me, when you actually start thinking about these things, you might come to the realization that you might not even want to get rich in the first place, because you might end up on Jeffrey Epstein's island because you have no morals and you have no higher purpose. You just want money to chase a higher high by buying bullshit things and then doing degenerate shit and then doing illegal things and then ending up on Jeffrey Epstein's island like a fucking weirdo. So make sure you actually think about these things before you actually get rich. And trust me, if you have no faith, if you have no beliefs, if you have no religion, if you don't believe in a higher power, maybe you should focus on that first before you get rich, before it's too late and you end up doing some weird shit that you're gonna regret in the future. Now, like I've said before, I always like proposing solutions, and I have 3 for you guys so that you guys don't end up as a fucking island boy on some fucking Jeffrey Epstein list, listed as a fucking pedophile. And solution number 1 is to set big goals. You have to find something that excites you beyond money. Money has to be the byproduct of whatever success you're trying to accomplish. You shouldn't be chasing the money. The money should be coming to you. The reason being because your goals and ambitions should be providing so much value to the world to the point to where people have to pay you for what you offer. So by extension, if people pay you for what you offer and you're focused on whatever you're offering as in your goals, then the money is just a byproduct of your success. You get money for being successful. Now for solution number 2, and solution number 2 is to surround yourself with people who keep you accountable. Not with these rich fucking weirdos who end up on Jeffrey Epstein's island doing these weirdo things to these kids who are innocent. You don't want to end up with these people. And trust me, you don't want to have them as your friends, because if you have them as your friends, you're going to end up doing this weird shit with them. You need to be around men who have goals, ambitions, purpose, believe in a higher power, faith, religion. You need to be around these type of people who actually have something going for themselves and who actually want to propel society as a whole, and who aren't selfish fucks who just want to go to a fucking Epstein island and do a bunch of weirdo shit to children who are fucking innocent. Now solution number 3 is to know your own values. And what I mean by this is you have to be able to know which lines you will never cross, no matter how much money you have and no matter how much money you get offered. And you also have to believe that there's a higher power looking down on you, and that if you do something wrong, that higher power will punish you for doing it. Because if you believe that a higher power will punish you for it, then you won't do it in the first place. Your beliefs and your values have to protect you from doing evil things. And remember, everyone believes they have faith and values until they get a hold of power. That's when they truly realize whether they have it or not. That's when they truly realize whether they believe in a higher power or not. That's when they truly realize whether they're actually religious or not. Once they get a hold of power, then they truly realize who they truly are. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it for this video. And I'll end it off by saying that you should still want to get rich, but never sacrifice your soul. You don't want to sacrifice your soul for some bullshit, degenerate activities. And trust me, you don't want to become a fucking island boy and end up with fucking Jeffrey Epstein and his fucking pedophile homies doing some weird shit to innocent children. Because believe me, when the higher power judges you, you're going to regret having done that shit. And that's pretty much it for this video, okay? If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys give it a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.